Examination-based contact session for English and Academic Communication Skills, Year 1, Semester 2, for the year 2018. I'm your tutor, Rita Davids. Dear students, as you know by now, some of the courses have been combined. The examinations for 2018, that is April, August and November, had to be compiled as requested by the Iol office using the study guides of the following courses: DPPE, Diploma in Pre-Primary Education; DJPE, Diploma in Junior Primary Education; BESP, Bachelor of Education, Senior Primary; DES, Diploma in Secondary Education. Examination. The following is important information for your upcoming examination. Format. The duration of the examination will be 2.5 hours, and the scripts consist out of 120 marks each. It is important that you answer all questions with subsections. Study material. The study guide for DPPE Eacs12 on your Kindle or the hard copy. Study guide for BESP Eacs12 on Kindle or hard copy. Study guide for DES Eacs12 on the Kindle or hard copy. English Handbook and Study Guide by B. Lutheran. The new combined IOL Study Guide for DJP Eacs12, BESP Eacs12 and DS Eacs12 on the Kindle or hard copy. The content of the DPPE, BESP and DES study guides are exactly the same, and references will therefore be the same. DPPE, BESP and DES students will also be referred to the Lutheran book that has to be used as indicated in the study guides. The DJPE students only have to use the new IOL guide. References will be made from this guide. Understanding the questions. Every part of information can be assessed in a number of different ways. The examination papers are set up in 3 levels. Each question usually starts with a verb. Please pay special attention to the verbs used. These will guide you to what action you are expected to perform. Failing to perform the correct action will result in low marks and/or the loss of valuable marks. The following are verbs mainly used. For level 1, 50% for knowledge. There you use the word define, which means give the precise or brief meaning of something. Indicate what features are included and excluded. Describe means to provide detailed features of an issue or stages of a process in a logical sequence using numbers and headings and proper sentences. Identify means you must recognize and name or list features. List and state means to present a list of names, facts, objects, etc. in a certain order. For comprehension, you have to explain, which means you must describe something and indicate relationships between things, making clear the why, that's the reasons, and how, the examples of features. Summarize means to give a brief account of the essence of a matter through the main ideas. No details or examples, focusing on connections and meaning. Clarify is to describe something to clear up the meaning or significance. For level 2, 40%, under application, there you have demonstrate, that means to perform the necessary operations, show by example. Propose is to suggest a plan or an idea. Analyze, there you have to analyze, examine information in detail to discover the main ideas, components, patterns or relationships. Show why they are important and how components are related and what theories they reflect. Under discuss, you have to give a clear description and then argue about features by pointing out positive and negative features, arriving at a conclusion. For level 3 is 10%. There you get evaluation. To evaluate means to determine the value or the worth or the quality or the success of something according to certain criteria. Compare means to indicate similarities or resemblances and differences of phenomena regarding particular criteria. Draw a conclusion about the similarities and differences, emphasizing the similarities. Very often, a table format is used to compare phenomena. A description of one phenomenon after the other is not a comparison. Critical thinking. There you get argue, which means you must give valid reasons of ideas, facts, and sources. Discuss critically. There the students have to give a reasoned judgment after carefully weighing the facts, or the students have to provide positive and negative points and draw a conclusion. Distinguish means to describe two phenomena or things according to relevant criteria. Point out clearly the differences between the two sets. Differentiate means to show how things are different or opposite regarding particular criteria. Look only for differences, not for similarities too, as in the case for compare. Important. All answers consist of facts that you have to study from your study guide, as well as the Lutheran book for the DPPE, BESP and DEST students. For the language structured question, you must understand the spoken and written language. Examination cover page. Under student details, the following information must be filled in: student number, surname, first name, ID number, and examination center. Instructions. Read the general instructions and examination instructions carefully and ensure that you know what is required before you start. You are not permitted to take any form of notes into the examination room. Plan your time wisely and write as quickly and neatly as you can. Make sure that you watch the time to ensure that you finish in time. If time permits, read through your answers to pick up possible mistakes. Then you must also make sure that you have answered all questions. Important. Some students write everything in capital letters. Only use capital letters as indicated in the study guide on page 185, 2.1.2, and in the Lutheran book on page 10. This is very important when you write letters, essays, grammatical sentences, etc. I must be able to see whether you know how to use capital letters. Very important. The paper is set up so that you write on the paper itself. The quantity of lines given will also help you to determine the length of your answer. Also look at the marks allocated to each question to determine how many facts to write to obtain the correct marks. Scripts for 2018. References are done according to the Kindle, as all the students have the Kindle. Page references are also done in brackets according to the actual study guide or hard copy. Please note, only one presentation will be recorded for the exam scripts of April, August, and November this year. There will not be a presentation for each exam as done in the past. These references are for all DPE, BESP, DJPE, and DEST students. See which refers to your own study material. For the April, August, and November examinations, concentrate on the following. References are not done in any particular order. The following are what you might get in any of the 3 exam scripts. Nouns. Study the types of nouns. You will have to give your own example of each type of noun given, or choose the correct type of noun to match words given. There you get the common noun. These are for ordinary objects, for example, a pencil, chair, book, etc. Proper nouns are for names given to persons, places, days, months, and they are always with capital letters. For example, Sean, London, Tuesday, January, etc. Abstract nouns are things that we cannot see, touch or measure. Example, friendship, kindness, courage, etc. Collective nouns is a collection or a group of objects, people or creatures. For example, a flight of stairs, a gaggle of geese, a string of pearls, etc. Pronouns takes the place of a noun, etc. For example, me, him, her, them, etc. Non-countable nouns. Some nouns are not countable and are called uncountable nouns or mass nouns. Example, sand, water, flower, etc. Concrete nouns, they can be touched, smelled, seen, felt and tasted. For example, a table, dog, salt, steak, etc. You might be asked to choose the correct type of noun to match given words. In the DJPE study guide, it is 1.1.2.2 on page 20. DPPE Best and Desk students in the Lutheran book on page 16. Tenses. You must be able to change sentence into the simple past or simple present tense. For example, he stood on the chair and looked through the window. That is in the simple past tense. The answer is he stands on the chair and looks through the window. This is in the simple present tense. Or she goes to the shop and buys sweet is in the simple present tense. Your answer is she went to the shop and bought sweets in the simple past tense. These you will get in the DJPE study guide 1.4 on page 70 or 1.4.1.2 on page 72. DPPE Best and Desk students in the Lutheran book on page 28. Active and passive voice. You will be asked to change sentences from the active or passive voice to the passive or active voice. In the active voice, the subject of the sentence does the action. In the passive voice, the object becomes the subject and is having the action done to it. For example, the boy, which is the subject, kicks the ball, the object, over the wall. Your answer is the ball, which is the object, is kicked over the wall by the boy, the subject. Find this in the DJPE study guide 1.7.1, page 157, and 1.7.2 on page 160. DPPE Best and Desk students in the Lutheran book on page 32. Prepositions. Prepositions are the small words that usually relate two words or phrases to one another. Example, on, after, from, with, in, etc. You will be given prepositions to use to complete some sentences. You will find this in the DPPE Best and Desk Lutheran book on page 36. Direct and indirect speech. You must be able to change sentences from the direct to the indirect speech. When you do that, then you must leave out the question mark and inverted commas. Pronouns change. For example, my family changes to her or his family. Tenses change. Example, Mary said, I am feeling good today, will change to Mary said that she was feeling good that day. Find this in the DJPE study guide 1.6 on page 148. DPPE Best and Desk students in the Lutheran book on page 38. Prefixes and suffixes. Prefixes come before the root of the word. For example, engage becomes disengage. Suffixes come after the root of the word. Example, free becomes freedom. You will have to complete words in sentences using prefixes or suffixes. You will also be asked to circle the prefix and suffix in each word. DJPE study guide 1.2, page 29 to 32. DPPE Best and Desk students in the Lutheran book, page 46 and 47. Synonyms and antonyms. Synonyms are words of the same or of similar meanings. Antonyms are words of opposite meaning. You will have to give the antonym of given words. You can be asked to substitute words with suitable synonyms. You can also be asked to use antonyms and synonyms in sentences of your own to show that you understand its meaning. You will find this in the Lutheran book on page 48 and 52. Homonyms. Homonyms are words spelt and pronounced in an identical way, but they have different meanings and functions. You will be asked to make sentences with homonym pairs to explain the meaning of each word. For example, it is cold in Alaska. Cold is used as a verb. I have a nasty cold. Here, cold is used as a noun. You find this in the Lutheran book on page 54. Homophones. Homophones are words that are pronounced in the same way but differ in spelling and meaning. You will be asked to make sentences with homophone pairs to explain the meaning of each word. For example, I knew all the answers. Mother bought a new dress. In the Lutheran book on page 55. Diminutives. You will have to give the diminutives for given words. Examples are goose, gosling, brace, bracelet. Plural. You must change sentences into the plural form. Example, the naughty child kicked the girl on the knee. Your answer will be, the naughty children kicked the girls on the knees. Verbs. You will have to complete a given story by using the correct form of the verb in brackets. You can also be asked to circle the correct form of the verb in brackets that completes the sentences. Verbs are found in the JPE Study Guide under 1.1.1, page 4. The DPPE Best Desk students will find this in the Lutheran book on page 28. You will have to complete a table of irregular verbs. For example, fly, flew, flown, shake, shook, shaken. DJPE Study Guide under 1.1.1.6, page 15. DPPE Best Desk students in the Lutheran book, page 31. You must rewrite words in brackets and give sentences to form a gerund. Gerunds are words ending with ing. For example, drying, sitting, singing. You will find this in the Lutheran book on page 30. Idioms. You will have to make your own sentences with given idioms to make the meaning of the idioms clear. The DJPE Study Guide, you will find this under Figurative Language on page 38 under 1.5.1. The DPPE Best Desk students in the Lutheran book on page 56. Punctuation. Make sure you know how and why the apostrophe can be used. You will have to complete sentences using words with an apostrophe. Find this under Types of Punctuation in the Study Guide 2.4.1 on page 224 and 226. DPPE Best Desk students, you will find this in the Lutheran book on page 13. Official or business and personal or friendly letters. Study the similarities or differences between the features of a formal, that's a business, and an informal, a friendly letter. Also study the features of a business or friendly letter. You will be asked to write either an official or a personal letter. DJPE Study Guide 2.3.1 and 2.3.2 on page 204 and 206. DPPE Best Desk students in the Lutheran book, page 77 and 78. A book review. You must know what you will look for in a book to be able to write a good book review. The DJPE Study Guide 3.4.5.5 on page 336. DPPE Best Desk students in the Lutheran book on page 82. Visual literacy. Study the value of visual literacy. You will find this in the DJPE Study Guide 2.8 on page 276. DPPE Best Desk students in the Lutheran book on page 111. Edit your own work for correctness. Study how to do this in the DJPE Study Guide under 2.12.1 on page 309. DPPE and desk students in the Lutheran book on page 74. Summarizing. Study summarizing techniques or features of a summary. The DJPE in your study guide 3.6.1 on page 370 and 371. DPPE Best and Desk students in the Lutheran book, page 83. Academic literacy, writing for a purpose. Essays are usually divided into certain categories, which at times may overlap. You must be able to compare descriptive writing to narrative writing, or to persuasive writing and expository writing. You must also be able to describe the purpose of descriptive writing, narrative writing, persuasive writing, expository writing. In the DJPE Study Guide 3.2 on page 318. DPPE Best and Desk students in the Lutheran book on page 75. Paragraphs. You must be able to discuss the basic paragraph structure according to the following headings: the topic sentence or the introduction, supporting sentences or the body, concluding sentence or the conclusion. You will be asked to write a short paragraph according to the basic paragraph structure. DJPE Study Guide under 2.2.1, page 197. DPPE Best and Desk students in the Lutheran book on page 71. Misspelled words. Some words are frequently misspelled. You will be asked to clearly underline the correct spelling in each of given sentences. You will find these in the DJPE Study Guide 2.5.2, page 253. DPPE and Best and Desk students in the Lutheran book on page 132. Answering techniques. Whenever you have to answer an examination script, it is important to understand some answering techniques. You will find this in the Lutheran book on page 63. Essays. You will be asked to write an essay. Make sure you include the following when writing your essay: your introductory, your body with 2 to 3 paragraphs, and your conclusion. Find essays in the DJPE Study Guide 2.6 on page 265. DPPE Best and Desk students, you will find it in the Lutheran book under paragraphs, page 71. On the Kindle, academic writing. Make sure you know what makes writing academic. DJPE Study Guides 3.5.1, page 362. DPPE Best and Desk Study Guides 4.7, page 39. Interdepartmental or business memorandums. Show how to do this and why it is important. DJPE Study Guide 2.9, page 282. DPPE Best and Desk Study Guides 4.3, page 35. Progress reports. Study why progress reports have to be written in schools and businesses. In the DJPE Study Guide, it is under 2.11.2 on page 303. DPPE Best and Desk Study Guides 4.5.2 on page 37. APA format. APA is the official style of the American Psychological Association. Study how and where to use this. In the DJPE Study Guide under 4.2.1, page 417. DPPE Best and Desk Study Guides 4.8 on page 40. British and American spelling. Words will be given of which you must list each under either British or American. In the DJPE Study Guide, you will find this under 2.5.1 on page 250. DPPE Best and Desk students will find it in your study guide under 4.2, page 29. Modality. Study the term modality. in the DJPE Study Guides 1.8.1, page 166. DPPE Best Pendes Study Guides 4.1.8, page 27. Plagiarism. Make sure you know the importance of plagiarism when doing assignments. You can find this in front of your study guide under Word of Welcome. The JPE Study Guide on page X11. DPPE Best Pendes students in your study guides on page 8. Make sure you know how to use quotes in academic writing to avoid plagiarism. In the DJPE Study Guide 4.1.2 on page 415. DPPE Best Pendes students in your study guide on page 43. Exam preparation and writing tips. Exam timetable. Make sure you know what rooms your exams will be in and what time they start. Consult the Iol officers for those details and not the subject tutor. During the examinations, write your details as requested. Read the exam paper a couple of times to make sure you understand the instructions and questions. Make sure you answer all questions. Do not dive into writing without first reading the entire paper. Calculate how much time you will give to each question and stick to it. Emergency. If you happen to fall ill during the exam session, immediately notify the invigilator for correct action to be taken. General. Obtaining high marks in your assignment does not guarantee high marks in the examinations. You now have to make sure you know the content of the assignment and other information from the study guide very well to do well in the coming examination. Make sure that you have all the information you get from the contact sessions and the feedback of the assignments. You will find very important and useful information through these. Please study hard for the upcoming examinations to be successful. If you need my help on something, contact me on my email address below. If you state what you do not understand or ask a question, I can give you a well-constructed answer. I wish you all the best. Rita Davids.